Good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. So, I was dating this girl for a while, and we got to a point in our relationship where we started to get comfortable revealing some of the sexual things that we were into, that we weren't comfortable sharing earlier on. And she told me that she was into roleplay, which is cool. I don't have a problem with roleplay if that's your thing. No judgment here. However, I had never had roleplay sex. I didn't take acting class in high school. So I had absolutely no experience to go off of. And the first time we had roleplay sex, she didn't really give me any warning in advance. A script would have been nice. Just right in the middle of sex, she's like, "Oh, teacher, I'm so sorry for being late to class." At which point, I feel like I'm on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I don't have that Wayne Brady charm, you know? Well, that Wayne Brady dick, probably. And so the only thing I have to go off of, again, not being a roleplay fella, is what school was like. So I'm like, "Well, babe, you've been tardy to 4 classes now. Every 2 classes takes 2% off your final grade. So, highest grade you can get in this class is a 69%, so clearly you're gonna need to do a makeup paper. Guess I'll be grading off your curves this summer." Apparently this girl's in summer sessions. But at which point she's looking at me like, "Wow, that was all the least sexiest stuff you could have possibly said. We're done." And I just sulked to the bathroom and finished myself off in the shower. But my recent sexual exploits have not all ended poorly. One night, got glow-in-the-dark condoms, same girl, and if you never used glow-in-the-dark condoms before, trust me, they're loads of fun. Because, first of all, they really do glow really bright. Like, if you shut all the lights off in your apartment, you can read a book with the amount of light it's emitting. Now, keep in mind, there is a dick in the way, so it makes for kind of an awkward reading lamp, because you're always like, "It was the best of times. It was the worst of times." What's Harry Potter gonna do next? But the other great thing about glow-in-the-dark condoms is they opened up a lot of opportunities for roleplay. Like one night, I knew we were about to have sex, so I throw the condom on in the bathroom, then throw my gym shorts back on, and just before we're about to get down to business, I go, "Babe, I must let you know now that my penis was imbued with magical powers so that it glows when orcs are nearby. I call it Sting. We must sheath it quickly before we are seen." So recently I was hanging out with some of my friends, and they were drunk, and my friends always like to pick fights when they're drunk, which is fucking irritating, because, I mean, I'm not going to fight anybody. And so they pick these fights with these dudes, and one of the dudes in their group comes up to me, he's like, "So you going to fight me, bro, or are you a pussy?" To which my response was, "Well, man, you are what you eat." So, I don't know if you guys have heard, but recently archaeologists discovered a new version of the Mayan calendar, which goes beyond 2012, which was a day of celebration for myself, because I was always assuming that the world ending in 2012 because of some fucking calendar, likely bullshit. Because, first of all, the only source for that kind of information seemed to be the History Channel, which is not a bastion of reliable, intellectual, informative information. The History Channel used to be patriotic porn for the baby boom generation to watch World War II reruns and go, "America #1, fuck yeah, look what we did for the rest of the world." And now it's pretty much just become white trash porn. Every other show is somebody either trying to sell probably fake Civil War memorabilia to a pawn shop, or trying to shoot an alligator in the mouth. In fact, the other day I turned the television on to the History Channel and they combined both into one show. He's like, "Oh, Jeter, did you see the way he stuck that authentic Civil War rifle right in that alligator's mouth and blew its fucking brains out? Ah!" To be fair to those rednecks, my favorite part of the porn is the cum shot too. But anyway, the other thing that bothers me about the whole Mayan calendar thing is the Mayans were like the civilization that existed thousands of years ago, and before they invented penicillin or calculus. I mean, how smart were these assholes really? I mean, did anybody ever consider that maybe it was just a shitty fucking calendar? I mean, why not? You know, but you know, I'm being kind of glass half empty here. Let's give the Mayans some credit. Maybe they were a really intelligent group of people, and they've kind of realized to themselves, you know, the average lifespan at that time is, if you're lucky, what, 27? And what do they need a calendar that goes that far forward in the future anyway? Odds are good somebody's going to rape and pillage your town before your kids have a chance to reproduce anyway. I bet you there were some fat priests sitting around making the thing, and finally one of them just went, "All right, guys, we've made 2,012 of these things this year. Let's take a fucking break. It'll be here when we get back." But the other thing that bothers me about all these kind of future predicting things, like any sort of like Mayan calendar, like Nostradamus is another thing that's big in the History Channel, is it's always like really vague, spooky sounding predictions without any meaning. It's always like, you know, the eagle will rise above the forest and its iron turtles will cross the river into foreign lands. Then you get some dude with like an ancient alien's hairdo being like, "Well, you see, you see, this eagle is the banner that the Nazis carried around, and the Iron Turtles is just kind of like describing a tank, you know, and that's just using his own vocab." To which my response is, so you're telling me he has these high definition predictions of the future, but sound is never part of it? Like, are visions of the future just silent films where it's like... Alright, thank you. That's my time.